Welcome everyone to our pop-up training. This is going to be short, sweet, so much fun. I hope you have your notes ready to be taken. But I am going to pass it over to my friend, coach, and mentor, Carrie Marie, to get us started and teach us all of her wonderful secrets.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. I am blessed to be able to work with Tiffany on a regular basis, and I am very grateful to be here with all of you today. She's asked me to share a little bit with you about, short videos and kind of social media marketing and things like that. So I'm going to try to get a lot covered in a short amount of time. So as she said, grab your notebooks because we're going to go over a lot. You might have to come back and watch the replay because I'm going to go as fast as I can to get as much content delivered to you in a short amount of time as possible. So just a little bit about me. I'm a network marketing coach with the Higdon Group. And so that's how I met Tiffany, because I am her coach. And I have 3 kids. I have 3 cats. I've been in the network marketing arena for about 20 years off and on. The beginning part does not count at all because I wasn't actually serious in building a business till the last 5 years. So none of that other stuff counts. But I am just so blessed to be here with you. And I find that social media marketing is just so huge because everybody's on social media. And so we need to make an impression on other people, and we need to be on there and branding us as who we are and who we help. And so a little bit about, I kind of got started with that after in finding the Higdon Group, actually after reading a social media book by Ray and Jessica Higdon. And that is what shifted my business entirely. And so I just wanted to share some of the things that I learned with you here, but I'm going to specifically talk about short videos because there is a reason why short videos are super important. They might not have as big of a buzz as they did when it was first coming about, when TikTok was a new thing, when Reels became a new thing. Of course, right when it was a new thing, that was like the time to be on there. And that was, when people's videos were blowing up and you heard about people just going viral overnight and all this crazy stuff. It's not happening quite as much to that extent anymore because it's been around for a while, but there is nothing wrong with putting your stuff on those platforms in short video form. And so when I say short video, I'm referring to TikTok, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. And the reason why it's so important to be on those and using those is for a few different reasons. One of them is as you're doing more of old school, prospecting and following up and things like that, people like to Google you. People like to search for you and find out who you are. They're going to come to your profile on Facebook or any of these other platforms, and they're going to be like, who is this person? Do I feel like I can trust this person in order to do business with them or to go into business with them? And so it's really important that you have a profile on there that you want other people to see, and that would be attractive to the kind of people who you want to attract. And these are the kind of people who are just like you, maybe a step or two behind you. Maybe you have overcome some things that they haven't overcome yet, or they're trying to overcome. Maybe you have solved some problems that they're still trying to solve. But also, maybe they're into the same things as you are. Maybe they have the same hobbies. Maybe they're also pet moms or actual, or human moms. There's all of these things, but they're going to come to your profile to see if they relate to you, to see if, who you are, what you're all about. And if you say who you are is accurate. So I always like to say that making sure that you are putting posts on your social media platforms, whether it be in video form or not, is extremely important. And you want to keep in mind those people who are just like you. What do you find to be helpful? What do you find to be funny? What do you find to be inspirational? What makes you laugh? What makes you smile? All of these things, what's helpful in your daily life. When you come across things that are like that, post them, because the reason why is because somebody who's just like you is also going to find that inspirational, funny, helpful, and so on. And so making sure that the stuff that you're putting out there is congruent with you. You don't want to just throw up any kind of random stuff just because, somebody in your upline created a cool graphic on Canva and it has all these things. That's not branding who you are. That's not branding who you're helping. And it's actually detrimental, because when you have oh, I don't know what's happening, but there's all kinds of noise. And but when you have stuff like that out there, first of all, it looks like advertisement. No, nobody's coming to your profile to see advertisements. If they wanted to see that, they'd turn on the TV, And the other thing is that when you post stuff about the company name, your product names, and things like that, people are going to start Googling. They're going to do their own research. They're not going to ask you questions. So you want to make sure that when you are posting something about your products or your business opportunity, that it's more out of curiosity. You want to cause them to be curious and ask questions. So maybe it's giving a shout out to someone who has gotten some amazing results, either in their business or with using the products, but talk about kind of like the results of the results, the benefit of the benefit, the real deep down, like what are they now able to do now that they have gotten, benefit from either the products or the business opportunity. It's not just like, oh, Sally made an extra $500 this week. No, what is she now able to do because she made some extra money? And you never want to use dollar amounts anyway, because it's probably against compliance. But something that you can do is, oh, I am so proud of Sally. She has been working so hard in her side hustle, and she is now able to make an extra car payment this month and get ahead. Like, I'm so proud of her, something like that. Or she's now able to bring her kids to the zoo that they've been asking about for 5 months. She's now able to do that with this extra money, something like that, something that is, and so pay attention to those stories, or share stories with each other. If you have a community online where you can share stories, or even just, if there's not a post in there right now asking for people to share stories about either what the products have done for their life or what the business opportunity has done for their life, that extra income, get those stories and use them. You don't want to do that daily. That's a little bit too much if you're posting curiosity posts daily, but sprinkle them in with the inspirational posts, the recipes, the tips, this and that. So you can use this for both your posts and your short videos. Now, with short videos, if you've never done them before, I know that it can be kind of scary. You're like, I don't really want to be talking on video. I don't really want people to see my face. I don't I don't know what to say. I don't know what to even do as my the content on there. And I always suggest, if you've not done a single one, if you've never done a TikTok or reel or anything like that, I mean, pick one platform that you want to try doing it in. My go-to is TikTok, because that's where I started. Reels was not a thing when I started making short videos, and TikTok was very brand new. I'm grateful for my daughters who got me into it by trying to get me to do these funny little dances. They're like, come on, let's do it. So my beginning videos is me doing dances with my daughters. But besides that, I always create, I shouldn't say always, because I do occasionally create videos in Instagram Reels now, but I primarily am focused on TikTok. They have so many different options as far as creating. They're always updating their platform and things like that. But what I always would suggest for you to do is find one that you feel like, pretty confident with. Okay, I'm going to give this one a try. And your very first video should be you real, like absolutely real and raw, and just be like, I'm super nervous. I have never done this before. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know that I want to impact as many people as possible. I know I want to change lives. And I know that doing short videos is going to help me impact and reach more people. So wish me some luck. Share some advice in the comments if you don't mind, something like that. But be real. It's okay if your teeth are chattering. It's okay if you're sweating and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's all right. Be the real you, because then people can relate to you. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I was totally afraid of doing video at first. And or maybe they're on there just to watch other people's, because they haven't got enough courage up to do their own video yet. And so by you saying, okay, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone entirely. I'm really scared to do this. I'm nervous. I have no idea what I'm doing, but wish me luck. That kind of thing. And by you saying that you want to be able to impact as many lives as possible, and you want to be able to use this platform to be able to reach more people, that's going to hit home for some people. Some people, they'll just scroll on by and it's okay. But for those people who you are touching and inspiring to get out of their comfort zone and do something, that's going to be helpful. And that'll just be the first of many. And I recommend that right at first, whenever you're recording videos, do it on your phone first. Set your phone up either on a tripod or, somewhere, and just talk to it just like you're talking to a friend. And then if you mess up, you can always just re-record. It's not a big deal. And so, make a few videos on your phone at first. And your videos don't always have to be of you talking either. Of course, those ones are really good because people get to know you a little bit more and they can relate to you, but not every day are you going to feel like saying something or have something to say. So a lot of the times you can just, record some beautiful scenery, or your animals doing something silly, or your kids doing something silly, or anything really. And if you record, let's just say, a beautiful scene outside, you're outside, it's a gorgeous sky, you just do maybe a 5 to 10 second clip of it, then upload that and put a motivational quote overlay. All you have to do is put text on the background, and it's motivational. You can pick some pretty music and things like that. And there you go. You have your video for the day. And so, right off the bat, you're not going to want to post a video every single day because you need to get the hang of it. You need to learn it and things like that. And that's fine. But I do encourage you to try, once you've done that first one, the one of you being like real raw and telling people, this is my first video, then try to do at least 2 or 3 a week after that. You can work up to doing one a day if you'd like. Doing them consistently is beneficial for multiple reasons. It's beneficial for the people who are following you because they'll know to expect a video from you every day. But also it's beneficial to the platforms themselves because the platforms know how often you're using it. And so they're going to see that. They're going to be like, oh, so-and-so's using this every single day. I see that they're in here every single day. They're interacting with other people. They're posting. We want them to keep coming back. So we're going to give them a little bit of, viewers kind of thing, that we're going to release this to more people. And that's the cool thing too, is that even if you don't have very many followers or viewers or friends or whatever on your platforms, these short videos are actually shown to people who don't follow you. And they're also shown to people who do follow you, but there are so many new people that it's shown to. So that just gets your content out there to even more people, which is pretty incredible. And the other cool thing is that it's okay to copy what people are doing. That's what everybody's doing on these platforms. So you don't need to start from scratch and be like, I don't know what to do. Look at somebody else's, like scroll through a few of other people's that are, people that you like to follow. See something silly that they're doing. Maybe that they're doing a voiceover. Maybe there's like a sound that is somebody talking, and you can just mouth it out to that sound and then put your own text on it and things like that. And it doesn't even have to be, it doesn't have to necessarily be applicable to what you're doing, but you should figure out maybe 4 or 5 things that are of interest to you, or people that you want to help and things like that. A lot of the time I like to start off with writing down everything about you, things you've overcome, things that you like to do, and so on. Everything about you can think of. And then that's the kind of stuff that you want to be posting about. And of course, your products and your business opportunity might have to do that. It should actually have to do with that occasionally. You should be sprinkling those things in. And I sometimes will do something silly along the lines of my products, just kind of goofing around almost. It really depends on the day. It depends on what I'm feeling like, but I want to encourage you to have fun with it. You don't want to stress over this. It might sound a little crazy, but really, these videos should maybe be about 5 to 10 seconds long. That's about the attention span that most people have these days. Most people are used to swiping, swipe, swipe, swipe. So that actually brings me to another point, is that you want to catch their attention right away. You want there to be either something visual that they are seeing that's going to grab their attention, like, whoa, what was that? And they're going to go back and want to watch it or stay on it. The other thing is the words that you use. You want to draw them in with what's called a hook. And actually, I hope that I left my document up. I do have a list of different hooks that you could use that will grab people's attentions. Have you ever fill in the blank? So these are kinds of things where you can either follow it up with a story. It could be a video of something. It could be anything. Your content can be whatever, but the headline, the text that people see right off the bat. And if you're not sure how to use these platforms, just Google it. People make videos on how to use TikTok and how to use Reels all the time, how to add text, how to add stickers, how to change the length of time that the text stays on and the length of time that the stickers stay on. So I'm not going to go over that today. That would be like an hour class, I think. And I'm trying to get all of this across in the next little bit. But anyway, so you want to make sure though that this is showing up in the first little bit. Then it's okay if it goes away and you have other text that comes up. But have you ever, fill in the blank. Keep watching if you So you can come up with whatever that is. 3 red flags when wait for it. Breaking news. I don't know who needs to hear this, but this video is for and the number 1 secret. So I made notes of these because those are great hooks. The other thing is you want to have in the very end, you want to have some sort of call to action because people need to be told what to do. They won't know. They won't do anything if you don't tell them what to do. And so it could be super simple. It could just be ask me how, or it could be tag a friend who needs to hear this, or let me know in the comments if you or vote for your favorite. So if you have something that's like, scrolling through different pictures or whatever, and maybe it's different outfits or different things, have them, another great thing that, a lot of people do for, if they, let's say they offer a product that is to do with weight loss and they're like, just lost a lot of weight and I'm looking to buy new clothes, new skinny clothes or whatever. So then they'll have, pick your favorite outfit, help me pick my new favorite outfit or something like that. And they'll have different things and they'll have people vote. So it's not specifically about how they lost the weight, but it's grabbing their attention. So if you can do something like that, think about the benefits of what your product offers. And then how can you take a little twist on that? How can you grab people's attention without necessarily saying what it is that your products do, or that you're even taking products, but it will catch people's eye. They'll hear a benefit of something like, so glad I now have all this extra money. Now I can do this, something like that. I mean, that's a little silly, but you get the drift anyway. And so you want to be creative if you can. If not, just copy what other people are doing and put your own twist on it. Put something that would have to do with you. So sometimes I'll even hear different sounds that I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so silly. How can I even use that? And I can't think of it. So I'll just save it. There are ways of saving the either effects or sounds or whatever, or I'll watch somebody else's video and I think it's awesome, but I'm not really quite sure how I'm going to use it. But so I just save their video and I'll use that later as a guide for me to create my own video once I can think creatively in the moment. Because, maybe I'm just scrolling. I scroll to get ideas all the time and then I just save because I don't like to spend too much time. That's another thing is if you're scrolling and interacting with other people and or scrolling and getting ideas, set a timer. Otherwise, you will fall into the black hole of TikTok or Reels and you'll be on there all day. So set a timer. It works awesome. Say like 10 minutes. I'm going to scroll for 10 minutes, get some ideas and interact with other people. And that's it. I'm done. After the 10 minutes, I either have to create a video or just get off and do something else that I need to do for my business, because you don't want to waste too much time with that. So some video ideas for you are 3 things to avoid if you're trying to POV, which is like point of view, life hack, something that's made your life easier, 3 tips to help with whatever. I mentioned before doing a motivational quote on a scene background. You can also do an overhead view. So if you don't want to be like face to camera or something like that, maybe you could be writing something down and you could have your phone like recording your hand writing something. Or maybe you're creating a recipe, you want to share the recipe. So it doesn't have to be your face. It's just showing how you're making something, how you're creating something. There's other, overlay, or even just like your feet walking, like me walking to wherever, and it's literally just your feet. So you don't have to always have your face. You can also do slideshows of images. So that's what I was saying before, like with before and after photos, or vote for your favorite or whatever, you can have photos that are sliding through. You can show your reaction to something. You can even do pointing to words. So if you don't want to say something out loud, but you want to get a point across, you can just go like this to the beat of music or something and have words pop up as you're pointing to them. So that's, again, something that's a little bit more advanced, because you have to know, how to do the time for the text. And when you're recording it, you do have to record it in the platform versus doing it just on your phone ahead of time, because you have to be recording it so that you know when to point. But it's also a good one. Like sometimes it's like you're pointing up and then you're going like this and you're going like this. Sometimes those are fun just to switch it up a little bit, especially if you're sharing tips, or like maybe, 10 foods to eat to avoid bloating or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you could just be like, 10 foods to avoid, and then it's like 1, 2, 3, and it's like all, or either that or they're all just and they show up along the sides of you, have all of the 10 things. So you can be creative. You can also do a duet or a remix, which means that somebody else has already created a video and you want to almost like react to it or do something alongside of them. There's an option where you can click on their video and duet it or remix it, depending on which platform you're in. And then it's like, it splits the screen in half. They're doing their thing over here and you're doing your thing over here. So sometimes it's like if you're trying something that somebody else tried, you could do that. You could do, film your morning routine. I heard somebody say they were doing their morning routine. Film little clips of your morning routine and then post it. Other people get inspired of like, how do you do your morning routine? How do you get all of this done? You're such a busy person. How do you do it all? So film it. Breaking news, and have a big announcement that you want to do. Reminder, do a reminder, 3 myths about something. I mentioned before and afters. You could do quick tip. You could also do a series. So for instance, like you could do a recipe series, have a dessert recipe series, or, maybe it's learning how to do something, and it's a whole series on learning how to do something, and each time they tune in, they get part 1, part 2, part 3. So that gets people to subscribe or follow you to find out the rest of the things, to get all of the rest of the recipes, or get the rest of the instructions on how to do something. You can also reply to a comment, at least with TikTok. I don't know about the other platforms, but with TikTok, if somebody had commented on one of your videos, you could do a reply through a video by clicking the little icon that looks like a video camera in next to their comment. And that's really cool. I've noticed a lot of times when you reply to a comment with a video, it gets more views than the original video, which is so silly. I have no idea why, but so they like the interaction with other people. You could also, if you're feeling brave and creative enough, you could do a skit. So these are fun. I don't know if you follow Ray Higdon at all. He does a lot of skits. He will wear wigs and mustaches and silly accessories and everything like that. And so those are usually for if you hear the same thing over and over again and it's like so silly, like somebody's complaining about something or whatever, that other person that's in costume is like that person complaining, and then you're the one talking to them like, really? It's like, I've tried this and it didn't work. And it's like, you have to try it for more than 2 days in order to see results, that kind of thing. It's just kind of silly, because it seems like a lot of the times we hear the same thing over and over again, and we're like, I don't have any money to get started. It's like, do you want to continue to not have any money, or do you want to learn how to make some extra money, So it's, you can kind of play around, do a skit if you're feeling brave enough, but that requires like some costume changes a little bit. So that's about it. I know it's a lot of content that I just shared, but I want to encourage you to not overthink things. Just have fun with it. Just start taking action and creating them. Do it messy, do it. It doesn't matter if you mess up. It's silly and it's relatable, even if you do mess up. I was recording ones one time and I literally slipped and fell. I ended up posting it and I got a ton of views because I was being silly. I was like at home by myself and I was going to post like, oh, I'm having a little dance party as I'm home by myself. And I'm like dancing along and I slipped and I'm there falling. And I'm like, whoop. And I posted it because I was like, that was funny. That was just like real life. I had, I couldn't have planned it if I tried. And it was great. So anyway, so things like that, people will think that's silly. Also when, if you're out and about doing things like you're out for a walk or you're at a party or you're at a zoo or wherever, if you're out and about, take little video clips here and there. You just never know when you're going to use them. And your phone video library is kind of like a little stockpile of videos that you could just use whenever you want them. If you have an idea that pops in your head, use a video quickly. Maybe you were at the zoo and you saw a lion and you took a little clip. You have no idea what you're going to use. And then you all of a sudden see this quote about lions and you're like, oh, that's awesome. I can use it with the lion video. It's just sometimes you don't know what you're going to use the videos for, and maybe you'll never use them, but it's always a great idea to just take little clips here and there just so that you have something to use, so that you're not scrambling to try to figure out content. You always have a little something. You can always just do text on top of a video. The other thing is you can batch up or batch record too. So if you are feeling creative one day and you want to record like 20 videos in one day, maybe change out your outfit or your hair or put on accessories or whatever and do different things, like say different things, share tips or whatever. And you don't even have to change your outfit, really. That's totally up to you. I've seen some people who post like 20 videos in the same exact outfit. So it really doesn't matter. And I don't think anybody cares. But if feel free to just record a bunch. And then what you can do is you can upload them and save them as drafts. So there's a whole draft section where you can just create videos or upload videos and then save it as a draft. And then you can go back in and post it on a different day. So on the super busy days where you're like, I have literally no time to do anything, you can just go to your draft and post it. You'll already have that video created because you did it in the day that you were feeling creative and you had a little bit more time and things like that. So you can also repost from previous time. So if you've been posting for a while, if you've already been on these social media platforms for a few months or so or more, go back to some of your higher engaging videos from a few months ago and repost them. There's different ways of downloading it. You can Google it if you want. I use this app or this website called like sstick.io or something like that. I probably have that wrong, but it's something like that. And you just put in the URL, it allows you to download it. And the process of downloading it's a little bit funky and there's all kinds of ads that are popping up, but it's free. There's other apps and stuff that can do the same thing. So as long as you can get your video down, then you can repost it again. You can either repost it in the same thing, or the other thing I always recommend is if you're creating a video, let's just say you're creating them all in TikTok, post them to Facebook and Instagram and on YouTube. You might as well. You've got this content that you've already created. You might as well put it in multiple places. That means the more eyeballs on your stuff. So, and try keeping it short. I think I mentioned this. Try to keep them to around, 10 seconds-ish, give or take a little bit. Again, people have short attention spans. And also, if you're talking for a long period of time, like sharing tips or something like that, or sharing a story, try shooting little clips at a time. First of all, it's less for you to remember all at once if you're nervous and you're not sure what you're saying, but it also allows you to have different background each time, and that actually keeps their attention. So if you do have a longer video, don't go more than 30 seconds, by the way, because 30 seconds won't, once you've gone past that point, you can't post it in all the platforms. 30 seconds is the max for some of the platforms. So anyway, but if you're sharing a story or lots of tips, you want people to stay engaged. So if you turn different angles, different backgrounds, whatever it is, different angles of your face, you're looking down or you're looking up, whatever, that will help keep people engaged. And also you can just do little clips. You're just like, oh, what was that tip? You're reading it from on your computer or your notebook or something like that. You're like, tip number 1, blah, 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 blah. And then you're like, okay, what was the next tip? And then you record the next thing. So that way you don't have to try to remember it all because it's a lot. You can also of course, switch it up so that it's not the same every single time. It makes it fun and not predictable, and people are excited to come back and see what's next. You can also use trending sounds. There's all kinds of trending sounds and stuff on there, or trending, there's of course trending dances and other little silly things. So I just say have fun with it and be yourself, because it's the ones that people are like totally scripted, or not being themselves, where people don't want to watch that. People want to see the real you. And so I just recommend having fun with it as much as you can. And I will open it up to questions real quick, but I know I've already been talking for half hour. I need to drink, so I'm going to open it up to questions, and let me know if you have any. Let's see.
Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome.
Yeah, I know that there was one in the chat. So when you
Oh.
get people that like your video, comments,
Mhm.
everything like that, where do you go from there?
Okay, so it really depends on what you've told them to do, and your call to action, of course, too, because sometimes if it is about your products or your opportunity, and you say, ask me how, and so then they're commenting in the questions like how, and so then now you need to like engage with them. So the platforms are a tad different, whereas like Instagram, or I mean TikTok, you both have to be following each other in order for you to be able to message them. For me personally, I actually can't even message on TikTok anymore. I haven't been able to for about a year now. They blocked me from messaging because I was sending out too many, because I had a video that went viral. Everybody was asking me for information, so I was messaging people like crazy, and they were like, this seems like unusual activity. We're blocking you from messaging. Like, great. So I've had to be creative and come up with new ways. So you can do it in any way that you want. But what I always do is I always reply to every single person's comment. You don't have to do it all at once, because it could be crazy overwhelming, especially if you have hundreds of comments. If there's a few though, make sure that you are commenting on or replying to their comment. Because first of all, it's nice, they like to see that you're replying to them, but also you want to make sure that they don't think that you're forgetting about them or anything like that. And then if it does require some further action, this is where you can say something like, I'll send, you'll need to follow me first in order for me to be able to send you a message. Or sometimes you go to follow them and it's like a follow request. They need to approve for you to follow them. And so sometimes it's, I tried sending you a message and I couldn't. Feel free to click the link in my bio, or feel free to, whatever, message me on Facebook or something like that. You can give them instructions on what to do next if you can't message them through whatever platform you're on, because sometimes they're restricted. Sometimes people have their accounts like super private. You can't follow them and they're not following you. So there's no way you're going to be able to send them a message through there. So I always have some sort of a backup and give them instructions on what to do next. So click the link in my bio is my go-to. I have a link tree in there where, and if you're not familiar with Linktree, go ahead and Google it, but it allows you to have, it's basically just a list of links. They're buttons, and you can have whatever you want on there. It's free to use, and you can have links to whatever. So I usually always have a few links on there of how to get a hold of me, like on different platforms. So basically like follow me on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever, those kinds of things. But then also if I'm posting a lot about a certain product, I will put that as one of the buttons, like ask me more about blah, 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 whatever it is. And then they can click on it. And then, and I don't say the product name, but I'll say something about like however I reference it in my videos. The other thing is like, I actually did for a long time. I think I might have taken it down for a little while I tweaked it, but I had a Google form that I had created that was almost like prerequisites of like, do you want to work with me? So I would ask them, do you have 5 to 7 hours per week? And are you coachable? And, this and that, like what would extra money help you do? And it would be like a fill in the blank. And so I would ask them some questions about them to see if they are people who I would want to work with. I also asked them up front, how much money do you have to invest in a business? And so I would leave like $0 to $50 and then blah, blah, blah. Like I would give little like brackets, and then they could fill in which one they had the extra money to invest in. And it was actually pretty cool, because then I had this up front, and it also asked for their phone number and their email address and a link to their Facebook profile. And so I was able to really get a hold of them in so many different ways. So I'm in the middle of tweaking it a little bit, some of my questions. But that was a link on there, and all the buttons said on the link tree was work with me. And then it brought them over to that Google form, and they filled it all in. So, you can do that. That's so easy. Just send people to the link in your bio. Now on TikTok, I don't think you can have a link in your bio until after you've had at least, it's either 100 or 1,000 followers. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's been a while, and they change the stuff all the time. And so I'm not familiar with that, but I know in Instagram, you can have a link, especially if you have a creator account in Instagram. Facebook, you can have a link. So if you're not quite there with the TikTok yet, I guess you have to be a little creative in how you message people for a little while until you have the amount of followers in order to be able to have the link. But, do your best. And I definitely make sure that you are replying to people's comments, though, because that will help with the algorithm. It helps people know that they're being seen and heard and things like that. And sometimes, you can have a dialogue in the comments as well. Let's see, what were the other questions? I think I saw something about where do you find your drafts? So there is a draft section in both Reels, Instagram Reels, and in TikTok. Again, I don't think I've ever once created a video using Facebook Reels or YouTube Shorts. So I could not tell you anything about those. All I know is I just upload my videos there. I just upload them. The other thing too, I did not note is that in Facebook and Instagram and YouTube Shorts, you would want to put like a 1-line heading basically, or description of what your video is. You can also do that in TikTok. The only thing is you also want to, in TikTok, include all of your hashtags right there in the description. So you want to have hashtags that are they're applicable to the video that you're posting. So for instance, if it was your first one, first time, first video, whatever, that kind of thing, trying new things, but then also ones that are applicable to you, some things about you. I'm always hashtagging holistic mama, because I always do holistic things. I have a Holistic Mama Speaks as my podcast. And so that's always something that I hashtag no matter what. I don't care what the content is. It could be about my cats, and it's still going to hashtag holistic mama. So you can pick something that is about you. I also use a lot of other ones that I use no matter what, because I want to come up in the top results of whatever that hashtag is. So you can kind of pick yours. You can do up to 30 in most platforms. TikTok, you can have more than 30, but I usually stick with the 30 across the board. But in Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, you want to have those hashtags in as a comment, not in the description, because it will make the description too long and it will cover up part of your thing. Either that, or in some of them, there's a certain amount of character limitation. So either way, and might as well do all 30 hashtags. If you can come up with 30, that's awesome, because it's going to just allow people to find it more easily. So, all right. I know that I just went way over time, because I could just talk about this stuff all day long. Any other questions? Let's see. I'm just looking through the comments quick to see. I don't want to miss anything, but I guess if you do have questions afterwards, and if I missed it, I'm sorry. And you can always send it to Tiffany, and she can reach out to me, and she can get back to you.
Yes, for sure.
So. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys have fun with this. I know I do. I have a blast with the short videos and content creation and things like that. And I could talk all day about it. And I do a lot of trainings in our inner circle group too about this kind of stuff, because I love it. So you're very, very welcome. Yes, the hook and the call to action, those are so important, because it really grabs people's attention, but it also tells them what to do. So, all right, awesome. It looks like there's no more questions. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you so much. This was super valuable, super helpful.
Thank you so much.
You're very, very welcome. I hope you all have an awesome rest of your day and have a nice St. Patrick's Day and enjoy your weekend. Woo woo. All right. Bye,
See you guys
everyone.
later.
I'll let you
Bye.
guys stay on in case you needed to talk after. I have no idea. So I'll hop off and you guys can do your thing.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.